What would you do if your own family turned against you, demanding the very foundation of your survival? My name is Eleanor, and at 72, I thought I'd seen every shade of human kindness and cruelty. But nothing prepared me for the day my daughter's husband, Tom, delivered his ultimatum. It wasn't just words, it was a blade aimed at the heart of everything I'd built for my family. My story isn't one of defeat, though. It's about the truths we uncover when pushed to the edge and the strength we find in standing our ground. I'd lived with my daughter, Sarah, and Tom for 3 years, ever since my husband passed, and the bills outgrew my pension. Sarah begged me to move in, promising a home filled with love. At first, I cooked dinners, shared stories of my youth, and watched their toddler, Lily, grow. My pension covered my needs and chipped in for groceries, small contributions to keep the peace. But Tom's eyes grew colder with each passing month. He'd mutter about burdens under his breath, thinking I couldn't hear. Sarah, caught between us, would force a smile and change the subject. The tension boiled over one rainy evening. I was in the kitchen, stirring soup, when Tom stormed in, his face tight with anger. Sarah trailed behind, her eyes downcast. "Eleanor," he said, voice like steel, "we need your pension. All of it, or you're out." I froze, the ladle trembling in my hand. Sarah wouldn't meet my gaze. I asked why, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. Tom's answer was blunt. They were drowning in debt, credit cards, a second mortgage, gambling losses he hadn't admitted to Sarah. My pension, modest as it was their lifeline. Refuse, and I'd be on the street. I refused, not out of spite, but because that money was my independence, my dignity. I'd earned it through decades of work, and I wouldn't let it be gambled away. Tom's face turned crimson, and he shouted, "Then pack your bags." Sarah's silence cut deeper than his words. I stood there, a mother betrayed, wondering how love had twisted into this. The next morning, as I packed a single suitcase, a knock at the door startled me. It was Mrs. Carter, our neighbor, a quiet woman who'd always kept to herself. She held a folder, her hands shaking. "Eleanor, you need to see this," she whispered. Inside were bank statements, Tom's, not Sarah's. He'd been siphoning money from their joint account for months, funneling it to offshore accounts. Mrs. Carter, a retired accountant, had noticed his late-night calls and dug deeper. The twist wasn't just his betrayal of Sarah, it was that he'd forged her signature to take out loans in her name. My daughter was as much a victim as I was. I confronted Sarah alone, showing her the evidence. Her face crumpled, tears mixing with disbelief. "Why didn't you tell me?" she sobbed. I held her, the way I did when she was a child, and told her we'd face this together. But first, we needed to face Tom. That evening, we sat him down. His bravado melted as Sarah laid out the papers. He stammered, then fled, leaving behind a trail of lies and a family in pieces. The truth hit like a tidal wave, but it also set us free. Sarah filed for divorce, and we moved into a small apartment, pooling my pension and her part-time job to rebuild. Lily's laughter filled the space, a reminder of what mattered. I learned that family isn't just blood, it's the courage to stand up, to protect those you love, even when it hurts. Sarah learned to trust herself again, and I found strength I thought I'd lost. Looking back, I see the moment I refused Tom's demand as a turning point. It wasn't just about money, it was about refusing to let fear dictate my life. The truth didn't just hit, it rebuilt us. We're not whole yet, but we're healing, step by step, together. Yindi.